much healthier person in all areas of my life. Sierra said, help me. They can help you too. Dial 701-566-5231. That's 566-5231.
Hello from the WDAY News Center. I'm Ty Schoenert with your news update. A group of 85 people from various churches in the FM Metro now in Jordan trying to find flights home. The group has been stuck in Bethlehem after a Palestinian terrorist group, Hamas, attacked Israel on Saturday. About a third of the group have flights arranged to the U.S., but they're still in need of flights for the 50 other members of the group. Father Phil Ackerman tells us the North Dakota congressional delegation has been assisting in those efforts. He says Senator John Hoeven has been working with the U.S. State Department and the ambassador of Amman in Jordan, requesting additional commercial flights to get the group back home. Governor Doug Burgum ordering all flags at half-staff to honor the victims of Hamas's attack on Israel. Burgum says North Dakota joins the international community in condemning these horrific acts of violence against our allies in Israel. The governor's mansion illuminated blue and white, the colors of Israel's flag. And the city of Fargo moving 30 young trees outside the downtown library to permanent locations today. City Forester Scott Ludahl says they've been growing 75 elm, maple, and ginkgo saplings. Now they need more room to grow. He says the trees will largely be placed in the civic space between the library and Fargo City Hall with a tree spade attachment to move the trees with their roots intact. I'm Ty Schoenert with WDAYRadioNow.com. First with the news when you need to know.
This is Weather and Ag in Focus with Bridgette Readel, Justin Storm, and Dean Wysocki.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us today. It's 106. No Dean today. Still on vacation. Still down in Arizona. Still getting sunburnt while shooting double par. Bridgette, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm great. Dean still has our goat. So no screaming goat till Dean gets back.
He just couldn't get enough of that goat. Had to put him on the plane and bring him down to Arizona.
How do you think that's going over on the golf course?
I'm sure the greens people aren't very happy.
Instead of yelling 4, you get a screaming goat right as you tee off.
I got a feeling that the fairways out there are getting a little bit wider and kind of helping Dean's game out.
You don't know if the divots came from the goat or from Dean.
Let's be real. They probably came from Dean.
Just a guess.
Right,
Justin, I've been out traveling this morning. I was over to Cooperstown and back already today. Weather seems nice. How long is that going to last?
It's beautiful out there. It's going to last for us here the rest of the day. Lots of sunshine out there, but there are clouds up to our north, up in Grand Forks, Northern Valley, northern Minnesota. They will be staying mostly cloudy for the rest of the day, while there's barely a cloud in the sky here in Fargo and points to our west. It's just beautiful out there. 60 degrees right now, southeast winds at 9 miles an hour. We're going to see the heating starting to slow down. We're only going to top up in the lower 60s, upper 50s around the area. Northern Valley right now stuck in the 40s to low 50s, 51 in Grand Forks, 40s points northward and westward out towards Devil's Lake. So you guys will all be stuck kind of where you're at right now. You'll all top out near 50 or lower 50s up towards there. And we'll be watching for the wind to be staying under 15 miles an hour out of the east for the rest of the day, and as well as into tonight out of the east-northeast. We'll have an increase of clouds. The clouds to our north will start to pull further south, and clouds to our south will pull further north. So we're kind of in the middle of this little sliver of sunshine, you could call it, and that will be going away, though, as we head throughout tonight with low temperatures near 40 degrees. So it's our last full sunny day until... it might be our last full sunny day for a while, folks. So enjoy the full sun. Because we got partly sunny to mainly cloudy skies on Thursday. It's going to be windy tomorrow. Northeast winds 15 to 30, highs mid upper 50s. A few of us will flirt around 60 degrees, so kind of similar to today. And then Friday, we introduce a slight chance for some showers along with windy conditions.
So for those of us who run or walk or whatever we might do outdoors, go do it this afternoon. Get that in because it
Yes,
might not be so nice
yes.
the next 2 days. Fair.
No,
Fair enough.
just going to be windy and cloudy on Thursday. Windy and some scattered showers. Fargo and points southward and eastward. Over into Minnesota is where all that rain is going to be confined. There will likely be a few isolated showers that dance around the central and northern portion of North Dakota. But as for the scattered and heavier rains, it's all staying south of us. And that's a
true.
good thing. We got lots of harvest going on across the state, and we don't need anything to kind of weten the fields. Unfortunately, areas of South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa, in a 1 to 3 inch range for rain. Localized areas higher, gusts as high as 50 miles per hour. Just a good old-fashioned Colorado low ripping through the northern plains.
So in travels this morning, I was over through Galesburg, Hope, etc., and that's an area with a fair amount of dry edible beans. And I saw a number of folks that were getting ready to roll. When I first went through there, probably about 9:30 this morning, I think it was still a little bit of frost, still a little bit of moisture out there. But as I came back just a little bit ago, you saw a number of people that were fueling up machines, getting ready to roll. So it's not just our soybeans and corn and our sugar beets. Dry beans are still being taken off the field. So things are going at a pretty good clip, though. Folks are making good time, and they're going to want to keep doing that in the sunshine because that means that you have good moisture conditions. You don't want things to get overly wet. So looking forward to seeing harvest progression throughout this week.
Yeah, and if you want to chime in on how harvest is going for you, if you want to talk about where you're sitting on yields, feel free to do so. We got our beans harvested. We know how much we have for average yield, which means we know a winner for our rain gauge giveaway, but I don't think we're going to do that today. We will, however, be giving a rain gauge away, just not announcing what our yield was. So if you still want to get out there and get entered in that contest, head over to the Facebook page, Weather and Ag in Focus. It's pinned right on the top of the page. It's a rain gauge giveaway. Just guess what you think our average yield on our soybeans has been. Or you could also head over to YouTube, episode 21 of the Here We Grow series on our Weather and Ag in Facebook or Weather and Ag in Focus YouTube page. You can comment on that video what you think the yield will be as well. And we're still planning a day that we're going to announce that. So you have at least today, probably tomorrow. Maybe we'll do
probably
it next
a little
week
bit longer. Yep. But things are coming right along, and we've made good progress. Again, having the beans combined and things are ready to roll, but I probably want to make sure we have a check before we go ahead and start announcing our yield totals, but we're going to get there. And so again, so many fun things going on these days out in the field. One question I'd ask on our Weather and Ag Facebook page is, what's in your lunchbox? Because I see so many posts, especially on Twitter or X, about the fact that it's 11 o'clock and the lunchbox is empty. Justin, apparently I can see you on the live stream. You're just having a glass of water. Stop.
Yeah, it's water.
But I'm curious what everybody else was. It's maybe curious what everybody else is having. Some folks get takeout. Some had their great lunchbox packed at home before they left this morning. And, my hometown is having a pretty big day. And maybe you are in a combine wishing you were getting a takeout box from Sauerkraut Day in Wysocki. I know the chef in you is like,
not
sauerkraut?
A big sauerkraut
really?
fan.
Okay, so here's some background. So that area is very strongly influenced by the German-Russian culture. And 98 years ago, the merchants in the community decided they wanted to say thank you at harvest to their farmers as well as all their patrons. First of all, understand that nobody was raising soybeans 98 years ago. In fact, North Dakota Soybean Council is only 40 years old. So this is a little bit new. We weren't all combining at this point in time. Nonetheless, the merchants got together and said, we're going to have a meal. And so this meal continues today. The focus is sauerkraut, hot dogs, mashed potatoes, cheese, buns, water, coffee, etc. Apparently there's a dessert today, but there is a craft fair going on. There is the meal going on. There are takeout boxes for those in combines. There is also a church lady pie social at the Baptist Church across the street where I like to lay down a couple of big bills and go to town because I don't love sauerkraut. So I would be the person who goes to Sauerkraut Day, gets a plate of food, sets it down for those around me to share, and eats the ham sandwich in my pocket. Because just not a super fan.
Are you heading out there later today, Bridgette?
I won't get out there today. Sauerkraut Day for me is all about family. So right now, my family is busy running combines and some other things. So we didn't exactly have time to get together like we might normally. I have a great aunt who does a fantastic job of making homemade goodies, particularly Kuchen and red eye. Justin, do you know what red eye is?
That's what those folks over in Minnesota have.
Sort of. Red eye. Homemade schnapps, basically. And I saw your face. And red eye is fairly high octane. It's definitely a sipper because if you're not careful, it'll run the generator in your garage. So I'd be careful with that stuff. But yeah, just as you hold your glass up high, there you go. So we may have listeners who've been going to and from. I'm not kidding you. There are literally busloads of people that go to Sauerkraut Day, and
wow, that's
it is
super
not a
cool.
day. It's not a day I choose to ride in the combine with any of the family. After this, we stay in open air situations, and by all means, it relates back to farming because it was a celebration from the merchants to their farmer customers. So there you go. There's your fun fact for the day.
That is super cool. I never knew it was a thing, and it's probably because I don't go anywhere, so I wouldn't know any of this. I was talking with Jay the other day, and he's talking about Bismarck this and Bismarck that, and it's like, "Have you ever been to Bismarck?" And I'm like, "No, I've never been to Bismarck before." And it turned into this big whole bit for a moment. And I'm like, I mean, I've only been up here for. What is it? 2013. I've only been up here for 7 years, almost 8. But I have no need to go out there.
Expand your horizons.
Well, I guess so. We're gonna have to go start hitting up some of these small towns and events and all the other fun stuff that goes around in these smaller little towns that are part of our community.
There are good things, and when you say there are things you don't know, well, I have some pop quiz questions for you throughout the day today. Some things about operating equipment.
Trivia.
Perfect.
And unfortunately, we don't have anyone in the studio to push the old trivia button, the screaming goat. I bet you if we ask nice enough, maybe we could get Jacob to sneak around from the production room to the computer room and turn on the old flipboard and push a couple of random buttons when we come back.
Well, while he determines what his ransom is for doing that, I have one very quick one for you, Justin. Here you go. The starting time for combining, is it A, merely a suggestion, B, whenever overnighted parts have arrived, C, after your boss's third phone call, or D, the 11th commandment?
What was the question?
What's the starting time for combining in the morning when you first get to the field?
It's definitely after the third phone call.
That's very likely and true. Okay, we're going to keep up with those types of questions. We've got headlines and weather, and I can't wait to ask my trivia question for a change today for the chance to win a rain gauge.
Lots of ag topics today, and of course, if you want to join in on the program, it's kind of a free-for-all. We do have structure, though, but it is a free-for-all Wednesday, so no guests, but we have lots of fun things in store. As Bridgette said, we're giving away a rain gauge, some trivia, and if you want to join in on any of this, feel free to do so at any time. Give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. That's 701-293-9000. You can chime in via email. That's weather@flagfamily.com or ag@flagfamily.com. Pretty self-explanatory on where those emails are going to go, whether me or Bridgette. And also our live comment boxes on our live streams over there on Facebook and YouTube. You can also find us over there on Acres TV. So we're going to take a short moment when we come back. All of that, so much more, and your questions. So stay tuned.
Livestock is mixed, fats and feeders up, hogs lower. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Risvet with this market update. The live cattle contract started the day higher and then quickly went lower as we approached the noon hour. The contracts are now trading higher and into triple digits. The cash cattle market has a single bid of 185 currently being offered in Nebraska, but otherwise the market is pretty quiet with no other bids for asking prices being noted. Now the market was hoping to see better support from boxed beef prices, but today's midday report shows both choice and select cuts trending lower. Boxed beef prices are lower, choice down $2.29 and select down 35 cents with a movement of 82 loads. Now, the feeder cattle contracts were feeling pressure and were lower earlier in the day, but even in spite of corn being up a couple of pennies, they have now traded up as well. They are currently up in the triple digits, getting pulled up from some of the support in the live cattle complex. The lean hog complex, though, is again trading lower as traders are wishing to see more robust fundamental support if they're to advance the contracts higher. The support could potentially come in tomorrow's WASI report if demand is forecasted to be stronger through the end of the year and into 2024. It is supportive, however, to see today's midday cash prices higher, but it's not enough support, obviously, to entice traders into advancing the contracts. We'll get a look at the livestock numbers. You're listening to the American Ag Network.
Always up early, always getting the job done, always working as hard as you can, always pushing for more, because you never settle. For farmers who seek outstanding performance they can count on, the only brand is DeKalb Corn, featuring a broad portfolio of products precision bred to maximize profit potential on every field. DeKalb brand, never settle. See us at DeKalb.com. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
For some farmers, soybeans are on their mind 24/7. If you're all about the beans, then Asgrow brand is all about you. That's why we've dedicated ourselves to developing truly localized products. Products with leading genetics and top-tier weed management. Products that maximize the profit potential on every acre you've got. You're serious about soybeans, and we're serious about your success. Visit Asgrow.com. It's all about the beans. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Let's get a look at the livestock numbers. Live cattle October up 160 at 184.17. December up 165 at 186.65. February up 142 at 190.75. And the April live cattle, they're up 127 at 193.67. Feeders October up 185 at 249.80. November up 150 at 251.85. Lean hogs October up 30 at 82.25. December down 60 at 70.82. And the February lean hogs, they're down 42 at 75.27. The dollar sits at 105.7 with crude oil trading down almost $2 at just over $84 a barrel. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Ristvet.
This is Weather and Ag in Focus with Bridgette Readel, Justin Storm, and Dean Wysocki.
On the guest appearance by the Screaming Goat, he is back. Thank you to Jacob. He does a fantastic job running things in the studio for us, and we really appreciate his help. So the Screaming Goat arrived just in time to give that shout out to our Here We Grow sponsors for today, and that would be Dakota Bank. Thank you to Chad Prewy as well with Dakota Bank, because he's always been responding and giving us heads up on what's happening out in the farming area, especially around Amenia, so we can keep up with anything that's going on in the field. But second of all, Dakota Bank does an outstanding job as a regional bank ag lender, and they provide insurance as well. So thank you to them for being a part of our project, and with Mark Wagner with North Dakota Estate Services. Mark does an excellent job of working with his clients to make sure that whatever happens today can be passed along in the future and for tomorrow for your heirs. So don't hesitate to give Mark a call and make sure that you have things lined up the way they should be. So, Justin, speaking of lined up, well, do you want a couple of more quiz questions, or do you want some ag headlines? What do you think? What should we do next?
Well, let's see. Why don't we do a couple of trivias, questions?
Okay, so these are for you. True or false? And by the way, if someone wanted to chime in on you real quickly, they certainly could. They can reach us on our Red Wing Shoe phone line at 701-293-9000. All right, Justin, the equipment guru that you are. All auto steer systems automatically identify and avoid tile intakes, power poles, and other field obstructions larger than a German Shepherd. What do you think?
True.
So there's no actual answer key to this. This is really just what people think and know.
You don't know the answer either.
So here's how I preface this. If you're using auto steer, it doesn't really know that there's something there. So that's why booms get knocked off on telephone poles, weather stations get run down by cultivators, things like that. Now, autonomous vehicles, like autonomous tractors, they do have more safety features built in. So if you have a system on your grain cart that moves your grain cart around without somebody in the cab, you have a better chance of avoiding that, but not with your auto steer. So that just brings to the next one I think you might going to know. The outer ends of a harrow or the levelers on field cultivators are designed as replaceable or breakaway components. Do you think they might be?
Breakaway.
Okay. Maybe those very end ones could be, but that's generally found on sprayers on booms that they will break away more so than you will on a cultivator. Cultivators are pretty fixed. So as someone who once took on a windmill with her dad's field cultivator, it really wasn't a win for the windmill at the time. You know, when your dad sends you down the field and he says, remember, that's wider than your tractor. You're kind of very busy singing along with AM radio. You might forget that you should pay attention to how wide your cultivator is behind you. Just saying.
Oh, man. I got them all mixed up. I knew that the sprayers had the breakaway, but I got it mixed up.
Yes. That's okay. This is why we get to go drive equipment from time to time and have a little bit of fun doing it. And why I need to get you out of the Grand Forks area more often, out of the Red River Valley, and into the fields with us. How's that?
Yeah, we got to go hit more fields. That's what I'm saying.
Anytime.
Why don't we go talking about fields and harvests and whatnot, some of the equipment. We got our beans harvested out of our field. What's our next step with these? What are we going to do? We kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday. We got a couple options. We can either just sell it, store it. Is there a need to where we would possibly need to dry them, Bridgette?
So if our grain moisture is too high, then we would need to. NDSU brings out some ranges every year of what to look for high or low moisture beans. If your soybeans fall below 11% moisture, you start to see an increase in field loss, splits, and cracked seed, and that will increase as the moisture content decreases. So when that shatter loss happens, you don't want to be below 11%. You'd really like to see a little bit more moisture in your beans. On the flip side of that, you know, your best price for soybean moisture content's usually right around 13%. Once you start to get, let's say, 16% for sure, and start to look higher, now all of a sudden you're going to run into trouble where they're too wet, slimy. They don't store well in bins. And that's where, if we were going to put our beans in a bin, if we have an natural air drying with adequate airflow, that we could do. Basically, you've heard of folks using bin fans, right? Does that make sense to you? Maybe, yeah, they're just giant fans that you turn on to blow air through there so that you can cool those beans, dry them out slightly so that they don't get hot, because you can literally get hot spots with soybeans like you can with other crop. Just an idea. So
there you go.
We're going to need to look at our moisture, Justin. What if we have to put them on air? What if we...
Do we by chance happen to know what that number is?
Oh, on the moisture? You know what? Since I know what the scale ticket says from hauling them into the elevator, I bet I can find their moisture. Let me go look. All right. I'm just going to have to make this picture a little bit bigger, and then I can probably tell you.
And then it's all pixelated.
Either that or Bridget just has really old eyes. This is not working in my favor at all.
You know, I bet you Jim might have an answer for us. Maybe Jim could help us out there.
There we go.
By chance.
I just got it. Our moisture on our beans was 12.3. There you go.
That's
They're fairly
good.
Dry.
That's good.
We don't have to pay drying charges. So
all right, let's see. What do we move on to next here? 1:28. We got 2 minutes until bottom of the hour news. I think we can probably get in on one more ag topic here before we move into our third segment. Give that rain gauge away for all those listening. Those on the live streams, appreciate the comments.
Okay.
Let's go back to Monday, because this is one we didn't get to. Let's just wrap up Monday's ag topics, and this is women's roles on the farm. You got anything you can add to that or tell me about, Bridgette, when it comes to the roles?
Well, so there's something called third shift when it comes to women on the farm. First of all, first shift is everybody going off to work for the day, right? A lot of women work off farm jobs. That helps with the bottom line for the overall farm income. Then you come home and you have second shift. That's household, childcare, all the duties that need to get done around home. And then thirdly, it's being part of the field or part of the livestock activities that need to happen around the farm. The downside to having all of those things going on means that sometimes women forget about their health and they aren't going in as often as they should, making sure they're being taken care of physically and mentally. October is indeed Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and rural women are at the greatest risk for increases in breast cancer because they don't always go in a timely fashion as they should. So here's our reminder to not only do self-care checks, but then also go in, take the time. I know it's harvest, make the appointment now, and stay healthy throughout the season. That's what's going on with women in rural areas.
Well, thank you for that, Bridgette. And it's bottom of the hour. Again, if you want to join in on the conversations at all and add to it or ask us a trivia question, anything, 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. Again, 701-293-9000. Emails, weather or ag at flagfamily.com. We're going to get caught up with bottom of the hour news when we come back. Got more ag topics, another check on the forecast, and a rain gauge giveaways, so stay tuned.
The mission of Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo is to tell the story of Jesus' love for all people without exception. Worship with us Sunday mornings at 8:30 at our traditional service, 10:30 at our contemporary service, or Wednesday evenings at 6 with a dinner before. We offer Sunday and Wednesday school for children pre-K through 5th grade and confirmation for students in grades 6 through 10. For more information, go to olivet.org. Encounter Jesus, experience grace at Olivet Lutheran Church.
Okay, so what do Americans do at least once per week? Yep, get their vehicle washed. Take some pride in that ride and take it to Tommy's Express Car Wash. Yeah, it's a system to get you the best car wash, fast, and your vehicle looking great. 4 Tommy's Express Car Wash locations in Fargo on 32nd Avenue and across from West Acres, and in Moorhead on South 8th Street and on US 10. So take care of that fly ride at one of the 4 Tommy's Express Car Wash locations in Fargo, Moorhead. Tommy's Express Car Wash.
Good afternoon, I'm Tom Tucker, WDAY News First. A group of 85 people from churches in the FM Metro is now in Jordan trying to find flights home. The tour group had been stuck in Bethlehem after a Palestinian terror group attacked Israel on Saturday. About a third of the group has flights arranged to the U.S. 50 other group members still need flight arrangements. Governor Doug Burgum has ordered all flags at half-staff to honor the victims of Hamas's attack on Israel. Burgum says North Dakota, quote, joins the international community in condemning these horrific acts of violence against our allies in Israel. The governor's mansion is illuminated blue and white. Those are the colors of Israel's flag. The former principal of a West Fargo elementary school who's facing child porn charges has pleaded not guilty. David George is accused of sending photos of children he knew to others online in exchange for other child porn images. George was arrested in mid-August. His next hearing is set for mid-November. George is being held at the Cass County Jail on bond set at $250,000. And a Minnesota Democrat says he's still considering a possible run for the White House next year. Congressman Dean Phillips says he still believes his party should find an alternative candidate to challenge President Joe Biden in next year's primaries. Tom Tucker, WDAY, and WDAYRadioNow.com.
When farmers think Four Seasons, they don't think a singing group. They think Thor Building. So be it 95 or 25 below, whether you're in a wet cycle or dry, farmers and ranchers know that housing their equipment and livestock is vital to success. The team at Thor Buildings understands your need. They'll give you a contract upfront and guarantee that price from start to finish. There's a reason agriculture builds with Thor. So when it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor. Check out thorbuildings.com.
Farmers, when you get stuck in the field, make the call to Oaks Truck and Trailer. Pulling equipment out of the field can be dangerous. Why not leave it to the pros so you don't get hurt and your equipment doesn't get damaged? With 40 years of experience, Oaks Truck and Trailer is trusted far and wide when it comes to large equipment, diagnostics, analytics, and repairing farm equipment. Next time you find yourself stuck in the mud, call Oaks Truck and Trailer. Online at oakstruckandtrailer.com.
Hi, this is Kennedy Coulter. You may have heard of my dad, DJ Coulter from American Family Insurance. As his biggest and most difficult client, I can tell you for a fact he can handle any situation. Whether you need advice or help finding the right vehicle, property, personal, commercial, or farm and ranch insurance, he's going to take care of you. Go to djcoulter.com and find out for yourself. That's djcoulter.com.
Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY Radio.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:35 on this afternoon. Quick check on your currents outside. Still mostly sunny here in the FM Metro. 60 degrees, southeast winds at 9 miles an hour. A little cooler up to the north in the 40s to low 50s. Mainly cloudy. As you head south down into South Dakota, they are in the 60s right now. So a little warmer off to our south, as it generally is. Coming up in this segment, we're going to be doing a rain gauge giveaway. It's going to be a trivia question. So if you want to call in and try and win that, 701-293-9000 is the Red Wing Shoes phone line. And don't call right now. We're not quite doing it. So
we're not there yet.
Just get it ready. Don't hit the call button. You hang up and call back later. I see the light flashing. I had an email coming from a listener talking about your red eye over there, Bridgette. And Gail says she must have come from a different German type. The red eye that they made was with Everclear, and they didn't sip it. They took shots of it, and usually at weddings.
Okay, so Gail's right. It is made with Everclear. You do drink it a lot at weddings, and if I say it right, the German name for wedding schnapps is Hochzeitsschnaps. I don't remember if I got that part right. Felt like my tongue was in the wrong place there. But we were always told to sip it because I once saw what it did to an aunt who didn't sip it, and that seemed like a bad place to be. Just, it's pretty high octane. But yeah, original red eye was just burnt sugar and schnapps. So giddy up for that. It's a good day. All right, Justin, I think you're on mute. Otherwise, I can see your lips moving, but just didn't hear you. There you are.
I was going to say,
what things
that sounds
did you
like
share?
a good old time to me.
It indeed was. Yes.
I pushed the mute button because responding to comments, and we have our communication box, and my keyboard is not necessarily the quietest. So if you start typing, you get all the keys that go through the airwaves, and most people probably don't want to hear that while you're trying to tell me something.
It happens to me if folks are like, Bridgette, you're on mute. It's because I was trying to type a listener response, and it is so funny that when we have guests in studio with us, they're like, wow, how do you guys manage all those things? Because we're trying to talk, we're trying to do the stories, we're trying to type email responses. I'm watching what's coming in on like Twitter and some of the other things that happen on a regular basis. So it feels a little bit like Grand Central Station over here sometimes, but just hang on for the ride. It's a good one.
Oh yes, I mean I got 4 screens up over here on my end, and just trying to monitor everything. The emails are coming in, phone calls are trying to come through, and just switching back and forth between tabs with the weather, and it can be a handful.
Is it a listener challenge to see how many different ways they can get a hold of us at one point in time between our Facebook page, our YouTube page, Acres TV, our own personal Twitter accounts? I mean, realistically, there should be some sort of
phone line.
Yeah, phone lines. There should be a prize for that.
No kidding. Hey, speaking of a prize, why don't we go ahead and do this? Don't call yet until you hear the question, though. I will skip you.
I have the question today.
I won't.
Usually it's a weather question.
What do you got
today?
for
It's
us
me.
today,
Usually
Bridgette?
it's a weather question. All right. So this is going to be, you have to name the state. And these are based on 2022 statistics. The state that leads the nation in the production of milk per cow. The average cow in this state produces 27,000 pounds of milk per year, which equates to 3,100 gallons. Which state provides this much milk production, leading the nation? Probably not the state you think
That's a lot of milk.
It's pretty high. This is based on some information I received. This would have been in November of 22. So this is based on not current year statistics, because those would still be being compiled. But yeah, state that would lead the nation, 3,100 gallons of milk per cow. That's a lot of cows. So wonder if anybody's going to get that one.
A lot of cows. Again, the phone number to the program, 701 293 9000.
Okay.
I just add a few more zeros in there to confuse people. 0, 0, 0, 0. Broken record over here. Callers, we'll get to you here in just a second, so be patient with us. I just can't get over how much milk it is. That's number one.
That's going to be number one. That's a lot of milk.
Wow, that is.
If you let me know when I have to give a hint to somebody, because I have a bit of a hint, but we're not doing that yet. We're not getting that involved quite yet. We'll give everybody a little bit of time.
Yeah, we'll take a few phone calls and then we'll give that hint out. I'm believing we're getting our calls just stacked up in the in the queue here. We're going to go over to, is it Aaron? We're going to go to Aaron first. Aaron, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. You are.
Arden.
Arden.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Arden.
we missed the letter there.
Do you want the name of the state?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Arizona.
No, sir, not Arizona.
Not Arizona.
They got a lot of cows.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you are exactly right. They have a lot of cows down there.
All right.
Arden's right. There's a lot of big dairies.
Really? See, I wouldn't have imagined down there in Arizona to be a milk state.
They have a great way to provide abundance.
They must be like one of those sleeper states.
Well, they can provide abundant food stuff, and then they don't have to worry about cold weather. There.
I guess not. All right, let's head on over to Chuck on line number 2. Chuck, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Oh, enjoying a beautiful afternoon.
Hey, so are we. Thanks for calling. You got a guess on the trivia?
My guess is going to be New York.
Oh,
Bridgette?
I would have said New York in the past. New York was once a huge dairy state, particularly Western New York. I thank you for the guess, Chuck, but that is not the answer today.
Hey, thanks for trying, Chuck. Try again. Let's head on over to Rambo. Rambo, welcome to the show. What's going on today?
Just doing a little yard work.
Hey, there you go. You getting it all done?
Trying to.
What's your guess for trivia?
California?
I appreciate that guess. California also has a large amount of dairy, but not this particular state. So not California. And I'm sorry, keep guessing, because it sounds like if you're doing yard work, you need a rain gauge from Productive Alternatives for that yard. So try again, Rambo.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for calling, Rambo. Let's see. We got Sue. Sue, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you.
Hey, glad to hear. You got a guess for trivia?
I do. I'm going to say Wisconsin.
Oh,
Bridgette, that
Sue
sounds
so
like
close.
it might be right.
She's so close, but no cigar on that one, Sue. Sorry. You are.
Sorry, Sue.
Nope, you're in.
Try again.
In the right neighborhood, though. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's see. We're getting. People are guessing some good states that I wasn't really thinking of. I'm like, yeah, they do got milk in that state, don't they? What do we got next? Let's see. We got Josh. Josh, welcome to the show. What's going on today?
Oh, come back, Josh.
Josh, are you there? I could hear him. Or I could hear myself.
Gary.
Oh, Gary. Well, sorry about that, Gary. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad.
Hey, glad to hear it. Sometimes our lines get switched around, so we pick up 1 and 4 actually answers. So, Gary, what's your guess?
Wisconsin.
So close to, but not Wisconsin. So close.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for calling,
Thank
Gary.
you.
Let's see. Who do we got next up here?
Oh,
Getting
got
good
another one.
answers again. Let's see. Looks like we got
Jake is on the line.
Jake. Yeah. Jake, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hi. What was the question?
What is the state that leads the nation in the production of milk? This state's average dairy cow produces over 27,000 pounds of milk each year, equaling 3,100 gallons of milk. Which state is it?
Minnesota.
Oh, once again, you're in the neighborhood, but it is not Minnesota. Thanks for guessing, though. Much appreciated.
Jake. Call on back. Try again. Get back in the queue. Let's see. Who do we got next coming up here? I'm sure the lines are going crazy. I'm sure Jacob's over there just punching away.
So you just let me know when you think we need a hint. But Eric just popped up, so we're going to have to see if Eric has a guess for us.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Eric. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Not sure if anybody's guessed it yet, but how about Minnesota?
That was just the most recent guess was Minnesota. You are close, but not that state.
There
All
we
right,
go.
thank you.
Well, Bridgette,
Thank
how
you.
about we do this?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love that all the milk drinkers are calling in. Thank you. Let's not forget to pick up a gallon on our way home from work. Yeah, absolutely.
No kidding.
Okay, what would you?
Here's what I'm thinking.
What do you need me to do?
We're at 146 right now. Let's hold off on the break until we get to the next segment. Let's take our short moment here to catch up with our sponsors. Well, that'll give Jacob a little time to catch up on all the phone calls. We'll get the queue put together, and when we come back, we'll go through a lightning round on the trivia. One more time, Bridgette, what is the question for a Productive Alternatives rain gauge?
I am looking for the state that leads the nation in the production of milk per cow. The average Michigan dairy cow produces 27,000 pounds of milk each year, which equals 3,100 gallons.
There you go. There's your question. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
They'll have you laughing right along with them. They're Bonnie and Friends.
I once saw one of our dairy cows get mad that there was a skunk in the lot, and she stomped the skunk into the mud. All you saw were two beady little eyes.
Well, he had it coming.
Yeah. He did. That cow was not happy with his presence. It's a done deal, pal.
Ooh, was the skunk able to spray? Hopefully not.
That skunk was buried except for his little eyes. I don't think survival was in his future.
That doesn't sound good.
Bonnie and Friends. Catch them weekday mornings beginning at 5.
Boost your crop's health with Domark 230 ME and Badge SC fungicide exclusively from Gowan, USA. Domark's systematic action teams up with Badge's outstanding mixing properties for unbeaten disease control on sugar beets, dried edible beans, and canola. Experience the power of two different modes of action with Domark and Badge. Don't wait. Contact your local ag retailer and ask about Domark 230 ME and Badge SC. Always read and follow label directions from Gowan, USA.
Hi, this is John from North Star Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. We have a great special during the month of September and October. $100 off water heaters. The coupon is on the website. How old is your water heater? And we are checking those sub pumps for fall too. And another $100 off kitchen and bathroom remodels. People are scheduling now, so give us a call at 701-367-9592 or visit us online at northstarplumbingnd.com. That's North Star Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
Farmers and ranchers, you work hard every day. Cass County Farm Bureau would like to say thank you for everything that you do. In America, we're blessed to have the safest, most abundant food supply in the world, thanks to the efforts of farm and ranch families just like yours. Cass County Farm Bureau would also like to remind you to keep doing the great work that you do. But please, do it safely. Remember, farm safety is your best investment.
The mission of Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo is to tell the story of Jesus' love for all people without exception. Worship with us Sunday mornings at 8:30 at our traditional service, 10:30 at our contemporary service, or Wednesday evenings at 6. Join one of our many ministry groups, like the Olivet Choir, Bell Choir, Bible Studies, Women's Ministries, Quilting and Crafting, or volunteer inside and outside our walls. For more information, go to olivet.org. Encounter Jesus, experience grace at Olivet Lutheran Church.
With Jiffy Lube Multicare, it's our job to make car care make sense. With personalized service reviews that swap the car talk for straight talk, so you know what your car is telling you and what to do about it. Where highly trained service technicians have your back, helping you take care of the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. Plus a full range of services from Pennzoil oil changes to tires, brakes, batteries, and more. We've got what your car needs, so you're ready for whatever's next. Putting you in the driver's seat of car care, that's a job for Jiffy.
Jiffy Lube, 620 Dakota Avenue, Wapaton.
Okay, so what do Americans do at least once per week? Yep, get their vehicle washed. Take some pride in that ride and take it to Tommy's Express Car Wash. Yeah, it's a system to get you the best car wash, fast, and your vehicle looking great. 4 Tommy's Express Car Wash locations in Fargo on 32nd Avenue and across from West Acres, and in Moorhead on South 8th Street and on US 10. So take care of that fly ride at one of the 4 Tommy's Express Car Wash locations in Fargo, Moorhead. Tommy's Express Car Wash.
Krebs Family Farm Bakery and Coffee Shop on 13th Avenue South has delicious fresh-baked caramel rolls, cinnamon rolls, muffins, pies, and cookies. They do special orders for cookies and pies for the holidays, and now serving home-style lunches with a different home-cooked meal each day. Grab your friends and head on over for a treat. They open at 8 Monday through Saturday. Krebs Family Farm Bakery and Coffee Shop, 13th Avenue South, just east of 23rd Street in Fargo, and still located in the Moorhead Center Mall.
This is Weather and Ag in Focus with Bridgette Readel, Justin Storm, and Dean Wysocki.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus, a.k.a. Trivia on a free-for-all Wednesday.
It's sort of a free-for-all.
We're just giggly for what we did last segment.
It's awesome. It's been such a fun day.
We'll see what happens. We're on our toes here. Let's head back over to our phone lines, see if we can get an answer correct for a productive alternative rain gauge straight out of Fergus Falls. Hefty duty, heavy duty ones. They'll hold like 12 inches of rain. They'll tell you down to the hundredths of rainfall that you get at your house. We're going to head over to Rocky. Rocky, welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. How's your day going?
Very good. Thank you.
You got an answer for trivia?
I would say California.
It is
California.
not
I appreciate
California.
the guess. It is not, but thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go over. I believe is it Burnick? Is that on line number 2? Is this Burnick or something close? Oh, they're gone.
Okay, so
they dropped. All right, let's head on over to Sandy. Sandy, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Good.
You got an answer for trivia?
I do. I believe Bridgette gave it away, but Michigan.
Bridgette was trying to be so careful the first few times she read it, and then she totally messed up. But I am so excited that you were listening close enough to hear it. Thank you. I got a couple of text messages from other listeners too, so thank you. Okay, so
see, Sandy, where are you calling from? Oh,
I'm driving gravel truck.
Oh,
right
awesome.
on.
And okay, Sandy, are you surprised? Were you shocked that it was Michigan?
No, I guessed that when you said Wisconsin and Minnesota were close, and then I was on hold when you gave it away.
Even better.
All right. Well, congratulations, Sandy. Stay on the line. We'll put you on hold. Our producer will get a little information from you and how you can pick that up. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for playing trivia. Thanks to all the callers out there, everyone on hold. We have a winner. Everyone trying to dial back. We have got our winner, and we have given away the rain gauge. But remember to keep listening, because I have like 12 boxes of these things, and we're giving them all away at some point.
Oh, and just so excited that people are listening and want to play along because I think it's fun to test our knowledge and do it in different ways. So yes. All right. We've been playing along on ag. Justin, what's the weather going to look like again? Just one more touch on that, if you would, please.
Yeah, let's hit the weather real quick. So what we're dealing with, Bridgette, is and it's another Colorado low. It's the first storm of our LRC cycle that's going to be affecting us. And the bulk of this will be staying to our south. So South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, southern central Minnesota, in that 1 to 3 inch range. Localized areas could see as much as 5 inches of rain out of this, along with some pretty excessive winds. Now, the excessive wind looks to be mainly localized in Nebraska and South Dakota. Portions of southern Minnesota, not Wisconsin, but Iowa could see gusts over 50 miles an hour. While here in the valley, North Dakota, northern Minnesota, generally just 15 to 30 mile per hour winds. This is all going to start tomorrow. So the rest of today is looking very, very nice. Northern Valley is stuck under clouds. We got sunny skies here in Fargo and points westward. 60 degrees right now. Wind out of the southeast at 9 miles an hour. That will be staying under 15 for the rest of the afternoon and into this evening, and it will stay light throughout the overnight hours. We'll have partly cloudy skies going mainly cloudy. Temperatures will level off right around 40 degrees. A few patchy areas of frost possible. Most of us aren't going to have to worry about that for tonight. And as I mentioned, it turns windy on Thursday. Northeast winds 15 to 30, mainly cloudy to partly sunny. Temps in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. And as we head into Friday, that low pushes more into Iowa and southern Minnesota. This brings Fargo and points southward and eastward over into Minnesota. A slight chance for scattered showers. It will become more likely, heavier, and more wider spread the further south and east you get of Fargo. But we're kind of on the northern fringe of it, so it's looking like maybe a quarter inch of rain for us here in the FM metro. Temperatures because of that will be quite a bit colder as well. Only going to top out in the 40s to low 50s on your Friday, and then we'll start to get improving conditions over the weekend. The wind will lighten up on Saturday, but still a little breezy out of the north. We'll have mainly cloudy skies, an isolated shower possible, highs right around 50, and then mid-50s with partly cloudy conditions on Sunday. So just a couple days of wind, one day of a few scattered showers, and then we start to get those improving conditions, Bridgette.
Oh, and speaking of improving conditions, the weather has been ideal for many things today. Harvest is one, but I have an update. The number of meals that were served for Sauerkraut Day in Wysocki, North Dakota today. Now, this may surprise you. This is one of the better years yet. 2,535 people went to Wysocki to get sauerkraut today. That's quite the number.
That is a big number. Who would have guessed?
For those of you with your if you have a love for all things pickled, that's your place to be. Sauerkraut it is, right? Or fermented, I should say. Certainly fermented.
I would agree. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got a minute. We have 2 minutes left. No?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I got my cord stuck on my chair. It's ripping my head down. Trying to read our list of ag topics. I'm going like this and my cord's pulling my head. Let's talk about safety in the autonomous ag sector.
So we kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, right? Auto steer doesn't always know that there is something going on when it comes to you and in the equipment. But the autonomous tractors are going to know that even better. They can tell via sensors that are all around the tractor as well as on the cab if there's anything that gets in with a certain radius of it, and the implement and equipment comes to an immediate stop. Those safety features are indeed being perfected because before they're ever on the highway as an autonomous vehicle by themselves, we want to make sure that that happens. We're dealing with large size vehicles, a tremendous amount of weight and strength. And so those are going to be well within their parameters of safety before they're allowed out on the roads. But a little difference there between auto steer and autonomous. Auto steer still has somebody in it. Autonomous means that that is operating under its own functionality, you might say. So things to keep in mind. Tomorrow we'll be back, Justin and I. We've got a guest. Her name is Kira Letty. Kira is an agricultural lawyer out of South Dakota. Why does a farmer need a lawyer? Sometimes
there's
that's a
reasons.
good question to ask. We'll bring that tomorrow. And don't forget to stay tuned. The Jay Thomas Show is next.
There it is.
I'm Jimmy Uland, and